Welcome everyone to lecture number 31. In the lecture 30, we have discussed what exactly the DPSP, how is it emerged, and basic objective of it. Okay. Now, objective of the fundamental right. What when we were studying that fundamental right, we got to know that objective of the fundamental right was to promote political democracy in India. Political democracy in India, that was the objective of fundamental right. Okay. Now objective of the DPSP is to promote social and economic social and economic democracy of this country. Okay. Social, and let me give a more good term to promote uh, social and economic uh, justice and ushering a welfare state will be the goal of your DPSP. Okay. Now, so this is the main difference between the fundamental right and DPSP. Now we are going to see the DPSPs have two characteristics. DPSP have two characteristics. Two characteristics. First, when we are going to study that article 37, we have seen article 36, that it contains the definition. Now in article 37, it tells that fundamental in the governance of the country. It tells about the fundamental in the governance of the country. In another word, if I tell, it is telling that application of the principles contained in this part 4. In this part, which part 4. Okay. It tells about what are the application that we can use, whatever it can be, where these things can be used. Okay. So we can categorize DPSPs in three categories. So this DPSP can be done into three categories. Okay. First, and see, constitution, whatever we are categorizing it currently, this is not mentioned under the constitution doesn't say this. It is just that we have improvised, we have divided DPSPs in three categories. There is nothing mentioned in the constitution like that. Constitution has just part 3, part 4 like that. Okay. It's not mentioned under the constitution. Very, very important, make it mark. Okay. So now we can categorize DPSPs in three categories. One will be called a socialist principle. So whatever the things that have been mentioned under the DPSPs, one section talks about the socialist principles. Okay. Another section talks about the Gandhian principles. And see, it is very important in exams. It comes, there are certain statements that will be given, and it will ask you whether this statement tells you about the socialist principle or Gandhian principle, okay, or liberal intellectual principles. Liberal intellectual principle. Okay. Now it tells for the article. What are the article that is included under this? It is just you have to take memorize, no other option for that. Okay, so for memorizing it, we'll see article 37 we have understood. What is that? It tells about the application of what are the principle that is contained under this part 4. Okay, now what is the socialist, what are the article that include, that is related to socialist principle? So article 38, article 39, article 39A, article 41, article 42, article 43, article 43A, and article 47. Okay, so if we want to make some connection to memorize it, we'll see that article 38, 39, 39. Okay, that can be one case, and another case will skip 40, skip this. Now after that we are going to 41, 42, 43, 43A. This is another series, 41, 42, 43, 43A, and last we will consider as 47. Okay, that will be our 47. That will another series, just to make any, if you are able to make any connection, make it, and you will be able to memorize it. Okay, now what are that Gandhian principle? The skip part, the first is the article that we have skipped, we can mention it here, article 40. Then second one also, this 43. Now 43A we have used, here we are going to use 43B, and whatever things that we have skipped, again 46. See, whatever the things that we have skipped in the socialist one, all the things will be mentioned. 40 we have skipped, 40 is there. 46 we have skipped, 46 is there. 43 we are going to use it again, and 43 instead of 43A we are going to use 43B. Okay, now 46, 47 will be there, and 48 will be there. Okay, so the only point is that we can make to memorize it, the first thing that we have, the first article that we see, that will be there, and 40, and from 43 we are going to write till 48. So that is going to come here, and instead of 43A we are using 43B. Okay, now liberal intellectual principles, and what are those things we'll discuss in detail. Okay, so it talks about the article number 44. So we have whatever the things that has been skipped in this one, skipped. 44 is there. Okay, now 45 is there, whatever we have skipped here, that will be used, 44, 45. Then 48, this one, then 48A, then 49, 50, 51. Okay, understood? So in these three categories we have divided our article that is present under the DPSP. In the socialist principle we have started from 38, 39, 39A, then we skipped 40, then 41, 42, 43, 43A, then we are skipping 44, 45, 43 we are skipping, and then we have 47. And when we are going to Gandhian principle, whatever we have skipped 40, we have written 40. We have skipped we have skipped 46, 47, that we are going to write. Okay, 44 we are not using it here. 48, for after 48, then 43, B 43, and here whatever the things are left, just write it, 44, 45, 48, 48A, 49, 50, 51. Okay, so just if you go through multiple times you will be able to recall it. Okay, so this was all about in this lecture. I guess you have understood like what exactly is that characteristics that it tells with respect to the DPSPs. Okay, one thing that I missed, that we have I've told you in starting that DPSPs have two characteristics. Okay, what was the two characteristics? One characteristic is that they are not enforceable by any legal process, by any legal process. Okay, so if we see, let us suppose if your fundamental right or equal fundamental right such as right to equality or any fundamental right is violated by the state, you can drag the state to the court of law. But if the DPSPs are not implemented by the state, you can't drag the state to the court because DPSPs are not enforceable. It is not enforceable in the court of law. Okay, and second characteristic is that they are meant for long term welfare of the people. They are meant for long term of welfare of the people and not for the immediate gains. Okay, so this DPSP is made for long term welfare of the people and not for immediate gains. Not for immediate gains. They actually what do? They actually promote social, economic and political justice. Social, economic and political justice. So this is the two characteristics of DPSP. This is the two characteristics of DPSP. First, it is not enforceable in the court of law, and second, this DPSP is for long term welfare of the people and not for the immediate gains, and it promote social, economic and political justice. Okay, this is the two characteristics of directive principle of state policy. So now we are going to discuss this one, socialist principle, Gandhian principle and liberal intellectual principles. Whatever the DPSP is overall, the concepts will discuss it here. Okay, now so this socio-economic principle, it tells, when we are talking about this first section, so broadly speaking, there are three types of directive principle aimed at providing social and economical justice and ushering in a welfare state. First, a socio-economic thing, Gandhian principle and liberal principle. Okay, socio-economic principle. First, it tells that this socio-economic principle, they require the state the following points. What are these points? See, first, to provide adequate means of livelihood to all citizens. Okay, to provide adequate means of livelihood to all citizens. Now, second point, it tells to let me give a heading that it is socio-economic principle. Socio-economic okay, yeah, to prevent concentration of wealth and means of production and ensure equitable distribution of wealth and material resources. And material resources. Okay, so socioeconomic principle in that, first is it provide whatever the DPSPs we have, it should provide adequate means of livelihood to all citizens. So whatever the principle that is going to be that whatever the policies or laws is going to be made by the state, it should provide adequate means of livelihood to all citizens. It should prevent concentration of wealth at one place, and like it should be distributed and means of production, and ensure equitable distribution of wealth and material resources. It should be equitably distributed to everyone. Third point, to secure equal pay for equal work, of men as well as women, okay. So socioeconomic principle, to secure equal pay for equal work of men as well as women. So every men and women should get equal pay. Okay, there should not be difference between there should not be any gender discrimination. It ensure that this socioeconomic principle, the principle was made to ensure a decent standard of living and leisure for all workers. And so what is the free time or a standard should be there for any kind of living or any kind of work and all. Okay, and it should be for all, even leisure period is there, so it should be for all worker. Okay, there should not be a discrimination kind of things should be present. Okay, now this to provide necessary opportunities and facilities to children and youth to prevent their exploitation. And the last point, that under the socio-economic principle is have been made to make efforts to secure the right to work, education and public assistance in case of unemployment, sickness. So there is Vridha Pension Yojana or Manrega and or things are there. There are many policies like Manrega is for the under 100 days working place. If you are not get a work, so you will be paid even if you are not getting work. So that comes from the Manrega, that is the unemployment one. Sickness related, so there are leave policies are there. Old ages, Vridha Pension Yojana and all. So yes, there are the policies that the government should make by taking care of such ideas, such issues. So this socio-economic principle, whatever the categorized we have, whatever the articles that we have categorized for the socio-economic principle, they talks about this thing. This article, whatever the articles is come under the socio-economic principle categories, and mention that this categories is not by the constitution itself. We have categorized ourselves. So it is to provide the adequate means of livelihood to all citizens, to prevent concentration of wealth at one place. It should be distributed equally among the people. Equitable distribution should be there. Third was that to secure pay for equal work for men as well. No gender discrimination should be there. That is being guaranteed through the socio-economic principle. Another point is that is granted through not guaranteed, like whatever the policies that government should make, it should be that are going to be made by taking care of these points. Okay. So the another point will be that to ensure a decent standard of living and leisure for all workers, to provide necessary opportunities and facilities to children and youth to prevent their exploitation. And the last was that to make the effort to secure the right to work of the education, public assistance in case of unemployment, sickness, old age and all. I've just given an example like Manrega and Vridha pension yojana, sab par ho sab badhe, right to work, that kind of slogan is also there by the many governments and all. Okay, now we are going to see Gandhian principle. Okay, before moving to that Gandhian principle, let us we see what were the articles that we mentioned under this socio-economic principle, whether they are getting matched with whatever the points that we have discussed or not. Okay, so when we go to the DPSP section, we have already mentioned the article. What are the articles? Article where 38, this include 38, 39, 39A, 39A, 41, 42, 43, 43A and 47. Okay, now we'll see all these articles whether these cover under this whatever the point that we have mentioned or not. Okay, now what the article 38 tells. Article 38 tells that state is to there to secure a social order for the promotion of welfare of the people. Okay, so whatever we are discussing here, like no gender discrimination, livelihood and all, so it means that welfare of the people it is talking about. Okay, social, so state to secure a social order for the promotion of the welfare of the people. Okay, so that is covered under it. Now 39 tells that certain principle of policies to be followed of the state. It is mentioned what kind of certain principle. The principle that it will be under the welfare of the people, so it is also similar. The policies should be followed which is under the welfare of the people, that kind of policy should be followed. So that is present in article 39. That is also good as per our whatever we have discussed. Okay, now 39A tells about the equal justice and free legal aid. Okay, that is also provided that there should not be discrimination on the basis of women and all. Okay, equal justice, free legal aid. So there should to prevent the concentration of means of production, there should be equitable distribution of wealth and material resources. Okay, whatever things is there, it should be equitably distributed. Even let us suppose there is a case between rich people and poor people. So poor people is unable to afford a lawyer and also government will provide that. Okay, so yes, there is a distribution, there is a equality, justice should be there, and free legal aid should be provided to all the citizens. Okay, yeah. Now this your 41 tells about the right to work, to education and to public assistance in certain cases. Yes, we have already discussed in the 6th point to make effort to secure the right to work, education and public assistance in case of unemployment, sickness, old age, etc. Okay, so yes, that is 41 is also covered. Now 42 tells that a provision for the just and human condition of a work and maternity leave. Okay, so now this is to provide the necessary opportunity facility to the children and youth to prevent their exploitation. Okay, if there is a pregnant women, there should not be a working for them. At this point also cover it like decent standard of living and leisure for all worker, or if we say that to secure a pay for equal work of equal men. When we are breaking these points, we are getting to know that yes, even a pregnant lady is working and all. So all those concepts will be covered under this point. When we are going to break these things, that will be covered. Okay, so provision for just human conditions for work and maternity leave, that will be also covered under this socio-economical principle. Now 43 and 43a. 43 tells about the living wages etc for the workers, that we have already discussed. 43a, participation of workers in the management of industries, that will cover under the same aspect. Okay, and now that is the 47. 47 tells us the duty of the state to raise the level of nutrition and the standard of living and to improve the public health, that is also we have covered. Decent standard of living, children related stuff, that to prevent their exploitation. So all of this point is covered. So we have to remember in any case this socio-economical principle, what are the socio-economic principle tells us, and what are the articles that are included under it, and what this article overall tells. Okay, so this is the overall point that we have gathered from the socio-economic principle. Okay, now we are going to see Gandhian principle. What exactly this Gandhian principle mean? Okay, now what are the points under the Gandhian principle? There is not much point, so I'll cover it quickly. Gandhian principle, what it tells. So these are the embodiment of the Gandhian program for reconstruction. So whatever the Gandhi's views and the point that he uses, so according to that the certain articles have been categorized into the Gandhian principle. Okay, what is the first point? So whatever the conclusion that we have made from those articles that we have mentioned in this Gandhian principle, so all those aspects we are going to talk about. So the article that were included under it were 40, 43, 43b, 46, 47 and 48. Okay, so we'll discuss in detail. So let me go through the article once, then we'll discuss. Okay, so article 40, we have seen that organization of panchayat and all is present under the article 40, and we know that panchayat power given to the panchayat and all, that was the dream of Gandhi. So obviously article 40 will be considered under it, and article 43 living wages etc for the poor, for the worker, that is covered. And 43b, the state shall endeavor to promote voluntary formation, autonomous functioning, democratic control and professional management of a cooperative society, of cooperative societies. We know like Amul and all, there are many cooperative kind of societies that have developed. So that kind of dream, that kind of things were already present in the Gandhian views. So yes, 43 will be present in the Gandhian view. Okay, now 46, promotion of educational and economic interest of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and other weaker section. Obviously this 46 will be there. And 47 tells duty of the state to raise the level of nutrition and standard of living and to improve the public health. So that will also be there in the Gandhian principle. And the 48 is that organization of agriculture and animal husbandry. It's all related to village related stuff, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes related stuff. Okay, so equal wages to everyone. So those kind of things that come under the Gandhian principle. So what is over included, what is over concluded with this article, what this Gandhian principle, whatever they have mentioned, what they exactly tell, that we are going to mention. So these principles are there for the establishment, of village panchayats to function as the unit of self government, Okay, second point. the promotion of the promotion of educational and economic interests of weaker section, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and all weaker sections of of society. The promotion of cottage industries, like industries in the villages and all. Okay, so the promotion of, and that's why British came to India. That was related to that products, cottage products and all. Due to that only British attracted to India. Okay, cottage industries, the prohibition of intoxicating drugs, the prohibition of intoxicating drugs and drinks. Okay, and the last one will be the prevention of the slaughter of cows, so these points have been concluded from this thing. Okay, what was the article that we have to say? Cows, calves and other milk based cattle and all. Okay, milk cattle. Okay, so this was on the basis of a Gandhian principle we have concluded whatever the article is present. Okay, so yeah, so this was related to the Gandhian principle. Now we'll see liberal principles. Okay, liberal principles. Yeah, okay, so liberal principles include our article 45, let me 44, 45, 48, 48A, 49, 50 and 51. Okay, so what are these articles? We'll see. So now this article 44 tells that uniform civil code for the citizen, and yet this is not implemented. Okay, and that's why we are telling that DPSP is just a guideline. Recently Modi government has told about that we should come up with a uniform civil code for the citizen. Okay, so yes, this include liberal principle. Liberal means what? Like free mind. It should be free, everybody should be equal, everybody should be under the same law. Liberal, open mind, free kind of thing. Okay, so 44 article 44 tells about the uniform civil code. Okay, 45 provision for early childhood care and education to children below the age of 6 years. Okay, now 48 tells that organization of agriculture and animal husbandry, and 48A tells protection and improvement of environment and safeguarding for forest and wildlife. Okay, and this 49 tells protection of monuments and places and objects of national importance, and 50 will tell about the separation of judiciary from executive, and 51 will tell about the promotion of international peace and security. Okay, 48 was it is same that we have discussed in a Gandhian one. It will also come under the liberal principle. Okay, so so the principle are based on the liberal thinking, and emphasis are need for first is that first we will be having, that is uniform civil code for the country. Okay, now second is free and compulsory education for all children up to age of 14 years now. So now it has been increased. Like earlier it was 6 years. Now as per the amendment it has been gone to the 14 years. Okay, and after 14 to 18 years they are allowed for the employment and all, but that cannot be at any case. That will be hazardous industries and all, and that hazardous industry has been reduced to 3. We have discussed in previous lectures. Okay, now see, separation of judiciary and executive. Separation of judiciary and executive. Other point will be the organization of agriculture, that we have seen in the Gandhian also. Organization of agriculture and animal husbandry. Okay, along scientific lines, along scientific lines. Now securing the participation of workers in the management of industries. Okay, securing the participation of workers in the management of industries. In the management of industries. Okay, and the second last point is safeguarding the forest. Safeguarding the forests and wildlife of the country, and the last point will be the protection of monuments. Protecting. Now there are questions like why we are including forest, animal things and all monuments also in this Libra one. I will explain you. Protection of monuments and places of artistic or historical importance. Okay, see, why we have included, there are many questions that can become, that why we have included that point under the liberal concept. Okay, liberal meaning like accepting different opinions or kinds of behavior, and you should be tolerate. Okay, tolerance should be there. Okay, tolerance means like Hindu people doesn't like cow slaughtering, and Muslim people they used to eat meat and all. Okay, that kind of things is there. So we should be tolerance towards this kind of activity. It should not be like currently war should happen. Muslims should also try to respect the points of Hindus, that they pray that animal. So we should not do such kind of activity in their areas, or in outside the country. We have seen that there are cow slaughtering and it is done very independently. Okay, but sentiments are connected with that, so there are a sensitive topic. These things are there. That's why I am speaking uh, very gently about such things. Okay, uh, there are like pigs and all are not allowed in the Muslims and all, so we should not serve that kind of meats to them. Okay, so there is a kind of that we have a respect of each other religions, and should be there, and tolerate we should tolerate such activity. Let us suppose a scenario that if someone has done that, so we should have a tolerate towards that thing. And yeah, so this was as per the DPSP, and government can take a decision if something is going against. Let us suppose a temple is there, in front of the temple cow slaughtering or kind of things is happening. So yes, government can make a principle or a policy or a law regarding that. Yes, government is free to do so. Okay, that is given to the government as per the DPSP. Okay, so that's why these types of concepts have been included under the liberal. Okay, there is the wider aspects that come under the liberal principles. So it tells that first we should have a uniform civil code. All the religions should have a same code. Force that are forced and compulsory free and compulsory education for all children should be there up to age 14 years. Later it's mentioned article 6 here, but it has been now it's 14 years. Separation of judiciary and executive should be there. Organization of agriculture, animal husbandry should be done on the scientific line. Securing the participation of the workers in the management of industries, safeguarding in the forest and wildlife, and protecting monuments and place of artistic articles and historical importance, that should be there. It does not be the case that it is a Muslim monument, we should not protect it, we should destroy it. Okay, or this is a Hindu temple, we don't like it, we should destroy it. That kind of concept should not be there. We are liberal mind, we are tolerant, we can tolerate. Tolerance should be there in each people's mind. So that's why these type of concept have been included under the liberal principle. These are the articles that has been counted under the liberal principle, and what are the articles that are telling we have generalized their meaning here under the liberal principle. Okay, so we have discussed, as we have mentioned, that we have discussed all the aspects. This one, socio-economical principle, Gandhian principle, and liberal principle in detail. Okay, so the real significance of the directive principle lies in the fact that they tend to intend provide social and economical democracy in the country. Without the political democracy is a farce. Okay, without the political democracy it is completely like we can't think about that. Okay, now we will be discussing about the difference between the fundamental right and the DPSPs and all. We already have discussed and overview things that a fundamental right is enforceable in the law, enforceable in the court. This DPSP is not enforceable in the court. Fundamental right talks about the negation, but DPSP is the positive aspects. All those things we are going to discuss in the coming session. Okay, this was all about in this lecture. Please drop a comment if you have any doubt. Please feel free to connect with me on social media handle. And yeah, this was all about in this lecture. Please like and subscribe. This is a new channel, we really need your support. Thank you.